that Cody Rhodes gave him permission in order to, release this dark side of himself. And he also has somebody else who's been in his ear as well. He tries to get some heel heat, but he does it in a haphazardly way. Okay, he does it in the most just a throwaway line. The voices in my head aren't the problem. The voices in my or the voices of you guys and everyone else, all the outside voices, those are the problem. And I need to listen to the voices in my head. And nobody cared about this. All right, nobody booed or anything like that. People were just like, okay, right. And then Matt Cardona comes out. All right, he runs out, and he walks up to the ring. He has all kinds of gumption in his step. All right, and he has a microphone in his hand. So I'm thinking he's about to cut a promo. He hops in the ring. Randy Orton is like, man, what are you doing out here? You ought to lose your job, or you're lucky you even still have a job. What are you doing out here? Interrupting me, cut his music. What are you doing out here? And Matt Cardona just slides into the ring and bops Randy Orton over the head with the microphone. Then he just baits him to get back in the ring because Randy Orton rolls out of the ring after getting hit in the head. He baits him to get back in the ring. Randy doesn't. And then we literally just move on. Like the segment, I was thinking that something else was going to happen in the segment. The crowd was dead. Nobody understood what was going on. Nobody cares about Matt Cardona. As I explained before, they have not built this guy up to be anything, to be any kind of a symbol of sympathy at all. So nobody cares if he gets his ass whooped. Like, nobody cares, right? Nobody gives a fuck if Matt Cardona gets his ass whooped. And that's sad, because I actually like Zack Ryder. I like Matt Cardona. I think that he has some talent, and I think that he could, if he was used properly, then he could get over. But he's not going to get over by just getting his ass whooped by Randy Orton week after week. Like, I don't understand what they think is going on here, or what they think is going to happen. But the segment literally just abruptly ends, and then we move on to a backstage segment with Nick Aldis. Trick Williams walks up to him, and Nick Aldis is like, hey, I've been wanting to talk to you. The people have been speaking your money, so I want to go ahead and reward you with the highest reward that I can at the moment, and that's a match at WrestleMania. So you will be on the card at WrestleMania. Now, I didn't like this for a specific reason. And the reason I didn't like this is because he says, okay, you're going to be on the card at WrestleMania. He doesn't say it's going to be a singles match, a tag match. He doesn't say anything. He just says you're going to be on the card. So he doesn't even know who his opponent is going to be at this point, but he just gifts him a WrestleMania match. So then Sami Zayn, he comes up because Trick Williams, he's happy. He's like, oh man, I gotta call somebody. I gotta call my mama. I gotta let somebody know. All right, this is what's up. We're gonna trick out WrestleMania, this, that, and the other. Sami Zayn walks up and he's like, oh wow, so he gets a match at WrestleMania. What about me? Nick Aldis is like, look, man, at this point in time, you're not doing anything. You're a jobber. So basically, no, we don't have anything for you at WrestleMania. So Sami Zayn starts to walk away. Trick Williams is gloating. He's like, yeah, so go ahead, walk off. You ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. And as Trick Williams is gloating and Sami Zayn is walking away, Sami Zayn, he stops and he turns around and he's like, all right, nah, I'm not doing this. Turns around and he starts walking back up to Trick. Now, he gets close as fuck to Trick, but Trick is like, this actually made me pop a little bit, because Trick was like, hey, Sammy, catering is that way. And that shit made me laugh a little bit. But Sammy punches Trick in the face, drops him, and he's like, I'm going to get a match at WrestleMania. He tells this to Nick. And then we move on. After that, there was like a little match between like Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and the Bellas. Before the match, the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, they come out and they cut an awful promo, just an absolutely awful promo. I really think WWE should start doing more pre-tapes. I think this could have been pre-taped and it probably would have been a little bit better. But having people who are proven not to be able to work a mic, and then they're not getting like reps at the house shows or anything like that. So it's just every single time they go out there with a live mic, it's the first time that they're doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like these promos aren't going to come off well. The women, they don't cut, like, you know, and this isn't a knock on the women specifically, but it's just the truth of the matter is that the women in the company at the moment, they're not the greatest promo workers. So they have to be put in situations where they are using their strengths and not their weaknesses. So I didn't like this promo. I didn't like that they bumped bellies. All right, that's some big bitch shit. I didn't like that at all. All right, but basically they came out and just said that they're going to watch the match, and that nobody wants to see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss or the Bellas. So they're going to be out there and give the people what they want to see. After this, the match gets underway, and the entirety of the match is just fucking Wade Barrett and Joe Testicles just glazing the Bellas and glazing Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Like, oh, who wouldn't want to see these extraordinary athletes in the ring at WrestleMania? Everyone wants to see Charlotte Flair. Everyone wants to see the Bellas, and the Bellas are just so good in the ring. Look at how the chemistry is. They haven't teamed up since 2018, and the chemistry is just something that just can't be replicated. Look, they have no ring rust at all. It's all just about how much people want to see them and how good they are in their matches, and there's no ring rust, and how, even though these women are older now, that people still want to see them. That's all they were saying in this match. Okay. This match ends up with, I think it was the Bellas. I don't remember which one. Brie, one of the Bellas ends up rolling up fucking Alexa Bliss after Lash Legend on the outside clocks Alexa Bliss because her face was outside of the ropes for whatever reason. So yeah, then Brie rolls her up, or whoever it was. They roll her up, and 1, 2, 3, that was the match. After the match, the Irresistible Forces commence a beatdown on Alexa Bliss and everyone in the ring. Then Lyra and Bayley, they just run out, and head to head, they just beat the shit out of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley are like 6 inches shorter than Lash and Nia, and they're also 100 pounds lighter than both of them each, right? So 100 plus pounds lighter than both of them each, and they just ran out and just put the paws on them, just straight up muscled them down. Like, this is not believable. And then after that, Brie and I think Charlotte and a couple other ones, they helped get Nia and Lash out of the ring, and then that was that. Okay, there's still some turmoil between Brie and Nikki and Charlotte and Alexa, but nobody cares. So we move on. After that, there was a backstage segment with Damian Priest, Jelly Roll, Rhea Ripley, and R-Truth. Now, R-Truth, he's backstage, and he is like talking to some construction dude. He has like a construction vest on, and he's like, yeah, these are the blueprints. I'll be in contact with you, this, that, and the other. Damian Priest walks up, and he's like, dude, what are you doing? R-Truth is like, oh, I'm rebuilding the clubhouse since the Judgment Day is back. Priest is like, no, the Judgment Day isn't back. What are you talking about? And he's like, what do you mean? Are you mad because we kicked you out of the group? And then Jelly Roll comes up, and then Jelly Roll is like, hey, what's up, guys? And fucking R-Truth, he's acting like he doesn't remember Jelly Roll when they were just conversating last week. Jelly Roll's like, dude, we were literally just talking last week. Like, R-Truth is just, at this point, like, it's just bad. Like, it's just bad, and it gets worse and worse every week. He is getting less and less funny by the week, and he already wasn't funny like 6 months ago. This is awful. Like, he is destroying his legacy as a comedy character, which is crazy to say because, he's a fucking comedy character, but he's destroying his legacy because he is just being chronically unfunny, man. This shit is just, it's awful. But Jelly Roll, he attempts to cut a promo on Damian Priest saying, that he's proud of him and proud of R-Truth. Then Rhea Ripley comes up and she's proud of Damian Priest and proud of R-Truth. And R-Truth, he thinks that Jelly Roll is Dominic Mysterio somehow. Everybody's Dominic Mysterio. Everybody's Tom and Nick. Everybody is, but it whatever, right? He thinks he's Dominic. He's like, Rhea and Dom are back together. Better not let Liv find out. Jelly Roll runs off, and then R-Truth scampers off behind him, and then R-Truth or Damian Priest basically just tells Rhea Ripley, go and handle that Jade business. All right, so we move on. I wanted to kind of mention this. So there was like a Stand and Deliver promo. Stand and Deliver is the big NXT show. It's basically the WrestleMania of NXT, and there was a promo for it. And what I found odd about this promo package for NXT Stand and Deliver is that it had nothing to do with any of the current storylines, had nothing to do with any of the current wrestlers. In fact, it was about a former NXT talent in Tiffany Stratton talking about how much NXT helped her and, how it formed her into her character and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, why would this be the promo? Why wouldn't it be about what's going on currently in NXT? Why wouldn't you want to bring those guys up and put shine on their names if they're guys that you actually believe in, right? So that just didn't make sense to me. It's just a small nitpick. After that, because of course that was basically a commercial, whatever, right? The Bellas, they confront Charlotte and Alexa. They're like, why were you being like, basically a bitch after the match? And they're like, oh, we don't care about you, this, that, and the other. I don't care about this. We move on. After this, Rhea Ripley, she runs out to the ring and cuts a promo. This promo was pure garbage and nobody cared about it. She basically just said the same shit that she's been saying and the shit that, other people were saying. She says that she doesn't understand why Michin and B-Fab would team up with Jade Cargill, and that Jade Cargill is basically a pussy for teaming up with Michin and B-Fab. Jade Cargill and the girls, they end up coming out, and this is when, the promo was already horrible, but this is when it just went completely off the rails. And this is what I mean when I say these things have to be pre-taped. Jade Cargill sucks at promos, and so does Rhea Ripley. So does B-Fab, and so does Michin. None of these women can cut a promo, yet you handed every single last one of them a live mic. And that is just something that cannot be forgiven. How can you do that to your talent? It gets to a point where it's like, I can't fully blame the talent. Sure, get in there, you know what I'm saying? Work on your promo skills off the clock. Get your reps in as often as you can. But if they're not doing house shows, and if Triple H is putting them in positions where they're going to have their weaknesses exposed fully, then I can't just blame the talent for being awful, right? I have to blame Triple H for putting them in that position to be as awful as they are on television. Jade Cargill has a whole lot of presence, but she needs somebody to talk for her, and that is not B-Fab nor Michin. None of these women can cut a promo. So if you're going to have them in a group together, when they talk, they need to be in a pre-tape, so that way you can do that over and over again until you get it right. But all they were saying is, at least the very least, they tried to explain it, right? And it's exactly what I said. They're next to Power, right? Michin says, Jade's got the championship. We're next to Power. We don't fuck with you, Rhea. So it's like, why wouldn't we align ourselves with Jade? We know what we're getting with Jade. B-Fab basically echoes that sentiment. And Jade Cargill basically says that B-Fab wants a match with Rhea Ripley, so that's what's going to happen next. But the whole promo, it was just so terrible. They're talking over each other. Everybody's talking over each other. It's almost like a realistic womanese battle, right? It almost is, but it's it's not good for TV though. It's not good on when you're on TV. So this should have been a pre-tape. After this, we get the Rhea Ripley and B-Fab match. This match was nothing to write home about. Rhea Ripley was whooping that ass. Jade Cargill and Michin ended up getting involved. They beat her down after the match. It was basically a DQ, so Rhea Ripley ends up winning by DQ. And then, they just beat her ass after the match, and nobody cares. We move on. After this, we have a backstage segment with Kit Wilson and The Miz. Now, The Miz is explaining, that he doesn't think that he's cursed, even though there's all these terrible things happening to him. And he explains I dropped my phone in the toilet and I left my shoes somewhere, or, just a bunch of different, little inconvenient shits that are happening to him. And Kit Wilson is trying to basically console him, hey, man, and tell him, hey, man, you might want to talk to Danhausen at the very least. And Miz is like, no, it's okay. I'm just going to go in my room with no sharp objects and this, that, and the other. Now, After Miz walks off, Danhausen appears, and he basically just curses Kit Wilson. All right, he says that he wants Kit Wilson to try to talk to the Miz about mentoring him. Kit Wilson is like, no, look at me, I'm tall, dark, and handsome, and you third world ugly. And Danhausen is like, well, if that's the case, you are cursed. All right, so we already know what's about to happen because Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll are supposed to have a match this evening. Now, the thing I didn't like about this, because I like the chemistry between Miz and Kit Wilson. I like these Danhausen segments. They're pretty decent for the most part. They tend to be the bright spot of the show. My problem only is that, more show don't tell. All right. I would much rather see the Miz drop his phone in the toilet. I would much rather see the Miz going through all these things that he's talking about as far as him being cursed. I'd rather see all of this in action rather him just explain it to us and tell us through exposition that all these things are happening, right? So that's one thing that I wish that they would do differently, but at the same time, it was still a decent enough backstage segment. We move on to there's a long recap of what happened last week with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. After that recap, Drew McIntyre, he walks up, he's all bandaged up, his arms, his wrists, everything is all bandaged up, and he walks up to
we're gonna figure this out.
What's her damn name? Kathy Kelly, Jackie Redmond.
Dude, you hear what
Okay,
Mickey James
I
called
don't know
me?
the difference.
She said,
He walks up to one of them and he has a little quick interview where he says, I'm not looking to fight, but if Jacob wants to fight, then it is what it is. And we move on. After this, we get our match between Jelly Roll and Kit Wilson. Now, before the match, Kit Wilson spits some bars, right? He basically just says in his bars that, Jelly Roll is fat and that, he could never fuck his mom, and that's that, right? And he calls him toxic. Jelly Roll smacks the mic out of his hand, says, let's fight, and then the fight commences. Now, this match was okay, but it was a complete burial of Kit Wilson. I mean, I don't care if he's cursed or not. Kit Wilson cannot, there's no professional wrestler can just be losing clean to a guy like Jelly Roll. It's not, no professional wrestler. I don't give a fuck who it is. Choose one. I don't care if it's Sami Zayn. Nobody should be out here just losing clean to Jelly Roll, and he lost clean to Jelly Roll. So that was that. They're trying to get over this jelly to belly suplex that Belly Roll did. It was a belly to belly suplex. Wade called it the jelly to belly, and then after that, they said that shit 13 more times. They said that shit so many more times after that. They're trying to get that over now. So I could tell that Triple H liked that shit, and he just kept telling them to try to get that over. But that was that. Ultimate burial of Kit Wilson. We move on, okay? After this, we move into the worst part of the night the second worst part of the night in my opinion, and that was Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes. Now, this was an open challenge match, so we didn't know who Carmelo Hayes was about to face for the U.S. Championship. And before this, it's crazy because before this, there was a little backstage segment with the Samoans, all of them on the SmackDown Samoans, where Solo was basically telling all the MFTs we all got to be on the same page. And Carmelo Hayes walks up to Tama Tonga after Solo's done talking to them all. And he's like, hey, so are you going to get this title? You going to come face me for this title, or are you going to keep on waiting for Solo? And then right after that, we move into this match. And Sami Zayn answers the call. Now, as soon as I saw Sami Zayn answer the call, I got nervous, all right? My balls got a little bit hot, okay? And the reason why they got a little bit hot is because I had a feeling that Sami Zayn was going to go over in this match. And my feeling was absolutely 100% correct. And this is the worst possible thing that could have happened for this fucking show. All right, Sami Zayn going over on Carmelo Hayes, burying him on a random episode before WrestleMania is absolutely insane work. Carmelo Hayes never, ever got an opportunity to have a storyline with his championship championship, and then he just drops it right before WrestleMania. And one of the things that I could not stand the most about this match, because we don't have to talk about the match. It was a Sami Zayn match. I mean, what do we expect? Exploder suplex into the corner, haluva kick, 1, 2, 3, right? We all know how these matches end. All right, Blue Thunder Bomb, all this goofy shit. So the thing I hated the most about this match is the entire time Wade and Joe Testicles are talking about, oh, well, Sami Zayn, he may not be on the card now, but if he's able to win this match against Carmelo Hayes and win the championship, if he's able to win the title, then that's a great, that's a great pitch for a WrestleMania match. And my thing is, well, Carmelo Hayes doesn't even have a WrestleMania match scheduled. So it would be one thing if, the Intercontinental Champion was scheduled for the WrestleMania. If that's what they said, like, oh, the Intercontinental Championship will be defended at WrestleMania if they already announced this. And then this happened, then we have something. But this just out of the blue, Carmelo Hayes, the Intercontinental, I keep saying Intercontinental, the U.S. champion. The Carmelo Hayes, the current U.S. champion, he has nothing going on at all, and he doesn't have a pitch for WrestleMania. So why is it that Sami Zayn, who's been losing, right, for the better part of the last calendar year, he's been losing nonstop, and suddenly he would have a pitch if he won the title match? That it just didn't make any sense to me. But Carmelo Hayes, he lost this match. I hated that. I don't want to talk about it anymore, so we move on. Nick Aldis, he makes that WrestleMania match official right after this match. Congratulations, Sami Zayn. You get what you want. I hated it. After this, Jacob Fatu, he has a little interview, and then he walks out to the ring, all right, because he tells her, like, hey, look, I would talk to you, no disrespect, but I'd rather talk to the audience. I'd rather talk to the crowd. He goes out there, he cuts a promo like, hey, man, I had to do what I had to do. Drew did this to me. He tried to take me out, pulling me off the building, this, that, and the other. He tried to take food out my family's mouth, tried to take food out my kid's mouth, this, that, and the other. Drew ends up coming out. He's like, screw your kids, because this is all we're doing now. All right. I'm going to bury you next to your dead dad. We're going to call CPS on you and your kids. Screw your kids. Your dad should be ashamed, or your son should be ashamed to have a corporate father or corporate stooge for a father. All we're doing is just attacking the family at this point, just attacking each other's family. And it's like, come on, man. Can we do something else, man? Like, this is not the way to build up, like, in void of a story, and we'd rather just cut scathing promos and just talk shit about each other's families. But whatever. As they're about to brawl, Nick Aldis comes out and he's like, hey, neither of you two are in any condition to fight right now, but I'm sure you'll be fine by April 18th. So that's your match. You're going to have a match at WrestleMania. And I hated this, okay? Like I said a couple of weeks ago, if they don't do for Drew what they did for Rhea Ripley last year, this is just exposing themselves for being, just straight up always having their favorites at the top, shoehorning their favorites in when it doesn't make sense. Rhea Ripley was in the same position as Drew McIntyre was last year when he got put into a match with Cody Rhodes, and with Rhea Ripley got put into a match with Io Sky. They were both in the same exact situation. Same thing. A week after, the following week after Elimination Chamber, they both lost their titles. Rhea Ripley got a rematch. Rhea Ripley got shoehorned into the title match at WrestleMania when it was supposed to be a one-on-one, but Drew doesn't get the same treatment. Drew does not get that same treatment. He has to go into a meaningless one-on-one match with Jacob Fatu, and it's going to be unsanctioned. Didn't we have an unsanctioned match at last year's WrestleMania? Or was it might have been the Royal Rumble. No. It wasn't the Royal Rumble. It was, I'm trying to remember which one. It was Clash in Paris or the Royal Rumble. It was one of them. It was the match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. We just had an unsanctioned match not too long ago. This is not exciting, okay? Nobody cares about this storyline, and you could tell because after they announced this match, that one little crowd plant, the section of crowd plants, they got hyped, but the rest of the audience, they were not hyped at all, okay? this show or this segment ended awkwardly as the first segment. All right, ended on a bad note because nobody cares about this match. All right. After this, Cardona and Jelly Roll, they have a little backstage segment. All right, Jelly Roll basically just tries to, talk some sense into Cardona, and Cardona's like, look, I don't care. I don't care when Cody Rhodes is going to be back. I got to get my pound of flesh. So that was that. We move on. There's a little backstage thing between Chelsea Green and Tiffy. Chelsea wants to team up with Tiffany. Tiffany does not want that to happen. So whatever, we move on. After this, there's a match between Tiffany and Julia for the U.S. Championship, the Women's U.S. Championship. This match does not go Tiffy's way. Tiffy gets rolled up by Julia, so I don't care about this match. We move on. After this, we get to the main event, and this was just a pure straight-up beatdown. All right. From beginning to the end of this match, Randy Orton was attacking that arm, attacking that broken wrist, the broken wrist of Matt Cardona, and he was just putting the straight beats on it, man. It was hard to watch at a couple of points, but also good to watch, you know what I mean? Because I like this character of Randy Orton. And Randy Orton, of course, is supposed to be the heel, yet the crowd is chanting for him. They're saying one more time whenever he does anything to Matt Cardona's arm. I'm like, Matt Cardona is supposed to be the babyface here. Like, he's supposed to be the babyface, and the crowd has no love for Matt Cardona at all, right? He is put into an impossible situation by Triple H and whoever the fuck else is booking this show by trying to fight an uphill battle against the star power of Randy Orton with no backstory, no build at all. Just try to get heat on Randy Orton somehow. How? He has no goodwill built up. Matt Cardona has nothing built up at all, and somehow he is supposed to just get heat on Randy Orton. This is just lazy booking, lazy writing by Triple H, and it's backfiring in his face. All right, so whatever. Randy Orton squashes Matt Cardona, beats him with ease after like 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes or so. After this, the Wheatley bus pulls up. We pull back. The Wheatley bus is in the back, and it pulls up. Cody Rhodes hops off the bus, and as soon as he hops off the bus, we cut to a picture-in-picture commercial, y'all. We cut to a picture-in-picture commercial, and I hated this, all right? You couldn't give us this last little 20 minutes of the show just to be uninterrupted. And there's all kinds of chaos happening, too. Security's trying to stop Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes pushing him out the way. Security trying to hold Randy Orton back from going backstage. And Randy Orton is throwing the security out of the ring, RKOing motherfuckers and doing all this shit. But it's in the picture-in-picture, bruh. So we can't even, like, all this is happening while Domino's or Pizza Hut has a commercial right next to it. Like, come on, man. Like, this is not, like, this is horrible to see on the screen. But anyways, after the picture-in-picture commercial, Cody Rhodes, he walks out, perfect timing, he walks out and he goes down to the ring, and they have no words. Cody Rhodes just starts beating the shit out of Randy Orton. Just starts straight mauling Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes, he has no bruising. All right, he has no black eyes, nothing going on with him, no wrapped up nothing. Cody Rhodes is just fine. Got one of the most brutal beatdowns in the history of the company a couple of weeks ago, and he comes back absolutely no-sells everything that Randy Orton did to him a couple of weeks ago. Not only does he no-sell it, he beats the dog shit out of Randy. Randy got next to no offense in this brawl. This brawl was going on for like 10, 15 minutes, bro. This brawl went on forever. And Randy Orton barely got a lick. He got maybe like 4 or 5 punches in, while Cody Rhodes got like 97. So there you got your differential right there, okay? 92 punch differential. And Jelly Roll at the end, he ends up coming out because security, they're trying to separate Cody Rhodes and Randy. They're trying to separate them, and Jelly Roll comes out. He's trying to talk sense into Randy. He's trying to talk sense into Cody. Randy ends up hitting Jelly Roll with the RKO, and Jelly Roll, Randy ends up hitting Jelly Roll with the RKO. Cody Rhodes, he's trying to get he's checking on Jelly Roll, and Randy Orton is at the top of the ramp and he's just staring off into the ring, and that's how the show ends. And yeah, man, I was not feeling this show. All right. This show had no cohesion. All right. Just a bunch of meaningless matches. Sami Zayn winning the U.S. champion. It was a terrible decision in lieu of building a storyline that people can care about. They decided just to put a championship on him, and then that's how they're going to go into WrestleMania. And now I'm even more nervous for this match at WrestleMania because I don't think Trick Williams is going to win. I don't think, maybe they will just put the title on Sammy so that way they could drop it to Trick. But that, man, I don't know if Triple H is going to do that. I don't know if Triple H is going to have Sami Zayn only have a 3-week title reign. I mean, I think he's done it before, so hopefully, Trick Williams can still go over here at WrestleMania. That should be what happens here. If you care about building the future, if you care about building new stars, if you care about the future of this company, then Trick Williams winning the U.S. Championship is what's best for business. But here's another thing that I didn't bring up earlier that I want to bring up now, since we're kind of doing a little recap of the whole thing. Dom Mysterio, he had the Intercontinental Championship, and he lost it to Penta just a couple of weeks before WrestleMania, when his feud with Finn Balor could have used the Intercontinental Championship, because it was already there, right? It was already a part of the storyline. It was already there, right? It was already in the group. So all you had to do was hold on to it until WrestleMania, so that way you could have this feud between Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio. It could be about all the things that it's about now, and then you could add the championship as just that extra oomph. But now that championship is in limbo. Dom and Finn's feud, nobody gives a shit about, because there's nothing on the line. Nobody cares about anything going on. They've already brawled multiple times back and forth. So it's like, we already seen them fight, right? We've already seen them fight. So I'm just trying to understand the logic here of why they would drop the title from Dom, but they would put the title on what's his name, Sami Zayn, as opposed to building a storyline for Carmelo Hayes for WrestleMania. Like now, Carmelo Hayes, unless he's in like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, he won't be on WrestleMania, right? Like he, you know what I mean? Like, if they end up putting the Battle Royal on WrestleMania, like, that's the only way he is going to get on the WrestleMania card, is if there's some sort of Battle Royal, some sort of over the top tournament, something like that. If that's the only way I see Carmelo Hayes getting on the card at this point. And that's sad. All right. Carmelo Hayes worked very hard, and it's not his fault that he's not getting over at this point. It's literally the booking. It's genuinely the booking. You cannot be upset with Carmelo or any of the talent, really. Even as much as I don't like Sami Zayn, and as boring as he is, I can't necessarily blame him completely 100% for being as awful as he is, because I would be lying if I said that he's never entertained me. When he was a heel, he was slightly entertaining, right? When he was a comedy jobber, he was slightly entertaining. But now, when he, as a white meat baby face, or a supposed sadistic heel, or he's turning sadistic heel, that guy, I don't believe him. I don't believe in this character. He is a goofy motherfucker, and he needs to be booked as such. And that goes for a lot of these people on this show. Cody Rhodes is a goofy motherfucker. Was just twerking on SmackDown like, what, 10 years ago, a decade ago? He was just twerking on this shit, and now he's the WWE champion, a 3-time WWE champion. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. So I had a lot of different issues with this show, man. I think everybody was just put on, like, everybody was on their worst tonight, was at their worst tonight. I didn't like this show at all, man. I give this show a 1.5 out of 10. Let me know what y'all thought about this show down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. Please go ahead and check out Crafty Vids. Go ahead and follow me, ntg_culture on craftyvids.net. And I'll see you motherfuckers in the next one. Peace.
Everyone is loud for Carmelo Hayes when he loses, but don't give him a reaction during his entrance. I feel like Sammy is gonna hold it until. Oh my God! You see how the fan thinking, y'all? Triple GPT is already sending prompts up to Paul Levesque for Sami Zayn to hold the U.S. title until SummerSlam, the scam of the century, repeated. Anonymous says, why not Trick? Cause disqualification, then the three-way. Melo got screwed. Yo, Melo should have went in the Mania as champion, dog. You got like, what is the incentive, y'all, to actually do good in this company? There's no incentive to actually put on 5-star bangers. This is why I was saying this. Carmelo Hayes doing the US Open Challenge over and over and over and over with no storyline is horrible. It's not a good look. Carmelo Hayes 91 days as champion and what do we remember from Carmelo Hayes championship run? This is bad, man. He said he's gonna have it till SummerSlam. Nah, that is crazy, bro. Remember when Sami said he wanted to be world champion? Yeah! What happened to that? Sami Zayn wanted to be world champion. Dog, what happened to that? I guess you don't want to be world champion no more, Sami Zayn, right? Like, bro, what? This is crazy, man. No, it's dumb, bro. It's dumb. Felicia said, how does Sammy deserve this after all the winning he's been doing the past couple weeks? This is like giving him the bottle. Please give him the start. Nah, that's a fact. John said Carmelo dropped it so his friend Trick could win it. John, it would have been way better. I mean, I can't. It's hard, bro. If you're gonna do this, I say do a triple threat. That way you put two of your younger stars over at the grandest stage of them all. You do a triple threat. But they got I would say they have the story a bit more, which they do, but they dropped the ball telling it, man. We got 232 votes in. Let me see where we at on the poll. All right, so I see people still voting. I'll keep it up a few more minutes. The vote, hit the chat, man. Let me know who y'all got. Do you think Triple H is gonna put Sami Zayn over? Screw, you know what I mean? He screwed Carmelo Hayes first. Is he gonna screw Trick Williams at WrestleMania? Or do you think he's gonna pass the torch? Or you think he's gonna take this company into the next 5 to 10 years? He won't be around, unfortunately, but Jay Swiss says, my prediction, Sammy, because double champ in Saudi. Yo, come on, bro. Yo, nah, that would be bad, bro. Double champ in Saudi? I don't know if I see that, dog. Vitamin says, Sammy defend in Saudi, keep him out the main event. Yeah, bro, this is crazy, dog. I cannot believe, dog, Sami Zayn has done nothing but been backstage complaining. Yo, look, y'all. You want to get a shot at the U.S. title? All you got to do is, Sami Zayn has done nothing the last few weeks except attack water, bottles of water. If you watch this show, you know I'm not even trolling. Bro has not beaten up anybody but Essentia. He went over on Aquafina. He went over on Fiji. Oh yeah, he went over on Poland Spring. He went over on every water. No wrestlers, but he went over on the bottles of water. And Triple H sees that backstage and says, man, this dude deserves the U.S. championship at the grandest shame of them all. Oh my God, dog. Sami Zayn is bugging, bro. Serious. I can't even blame it. It's not even Sami Zayn. It's really Triple H. Let me see what this poll's saying though, man. Wow. Somebody said, CEO Jordan, what's up, Jordan? He said Jada versus Rhea. Jade versus Rhea is the worst feud of the decade. We gonna talk about that. Disappointed. Yo, the chat came back. 74% says Trick Williams going over at Mania. 26% says Sami Zayn going over at Mania. Hey, chat, do you know what this means? Good looking for everybody that voted. Do you know what this means, though? This means that 70, because I'm a part of the 74%. I think Trick Williams is going over. But this means that we have faith in Paul Levesque to make the right decision. This means 74% of y'all listening right now, well, 74% of the people that voted might be as delusional as your good old Bobby Monsoon. We might be still falling for the banana in the tailpipe that we get tricked over and over and over and over and over. No pun intended. We're getting tricked by the Fed, and we still got faith for Triple H to make the right decision. We're gonna see, man. Vitamin says Sammy couldn't beat Smart. I forgot about that one. Yeah, Sami Zayn, he lost to Smart Water. And WWE just means moan or plank to get opportunities. Yeah, all you gotta do is attack water. My man Gregory, what's up, Gregory? All you gotta do is attack a bunch of water, and you can get your shot. So I'm pretty sure Triple H is happy. And Triple H, of course, he didn't show up to this event. He didn't take his picture with Sami Zayn. So once again, Triple H misses another crackdown, and great. All right, let me see what else we got, man. This was yo, I cannot believe they're not doing nothing with voice keys, bro. I'm like, am I bugging by just keep even bringing this up, bro? Just the disrespect, like they done took him off for what's the name? He's not even on main event now. Just nothing. Nothing. Oh, man. What do we go with? Do we go with the unsanctioned match? We go with the unsanctioned match? Jacob Fatu. Yo, my man. Yo, who gave Jacob Fatu a laxative before Crackdown? Bro showed up to Crackdown with the bubble guts. He done had some oxtails. Bro done had some chitlins. Bro came to Crackdown with the bubble guts. He done ate too many beads, too many sweet